covering what matters to you. This is your local ABC News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Here's what's ahead for you on this Monday night. Angry protests. The school board meeting gets loud and heated in Pasco this morning as teachers say, you heard them, they've had enough. And the school board votes to take legal action if there's a strike. And out of control, it is now the largest fire in Washington state history. We'll have the latest on the Okanagan Complex fire and all that smoke it continues to send our way. Plus stock shock, a roller coaster ride on Wall Street with the largest one-day stock drop in nearly 4 years. What it all means for your wallet. Those stories and more straight ahead as the news on this Monday night starts now. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Kevin Uretsky, and we begin this evening with tempers flaring, angry words flying, and a very uncomfortable confrontation at the Pasco School Board meeting this morning. We're down to the final stretch now in teacher contract negotiations. Classes are scheduled to begin in the district a week from tomorrow, but whether or not they will is still anyone's guess. Your local ABC's Kiera L. Fallon was at this morning's showdown and has more in the studio tonight with tonight's top story. Kiera.
Well, the Pasco School District is confronted by angry teachers and parents today who came for the special meeting in place of tomorrow's regular Tuesday meeting. Round 3 of mediation begins this Wednesday, but at this point it's hard to tell whether both sides will come to an agreement, especially after today. Today's special school board meeting is less of a meeting and more of a space for heated outbursts. The Pasco School Board begins with introducing the agenda, but once the first teacher speaks up, a domino effect erupts throughout the meeting room. That was enough to send school board members into a private recess. And while this is happening, teachers and parents waste no time standing in front of the room expressing their opinions. Especially teachers like Jeanette Lujan, who says she was up all night preparing a statement that she was uncertain she would be able to read.
Protest beyond the law is not a departure from democracy. It is essential to the democratic process.
Lujan says the timing of this meeting is unfair.
We didn't receive notification until late last night.
The district only called this special meeting yesterday morning, barely giving teachers and parents enough time to attend. But the Pasco School District says it was important for board members to meet as soon as possible.
The district took actions this morning because we need to protect the district in the event that there is a strike.
Board members unanimously passed a resolution that will ban striking teachers from school property and give the superintendent the authority to take legal action if a strike happens. Teachers like Lujan say she never hoped for a strike. She hopes
to, on Tuesday morning, go into my classroom early in the morning and greet 20 smiling kindergartners and to be able to teach and exercise the profession I love. That's my ultimate hope. My ultimate hope is not to be on a picket line on Tuesday morning.
Pasco teachers are set to meet with the school district and state mediators on Wednesday. So this still leaves everyone up in the air, including parents worried about what will happen to their kids. Coming up on your local ABC News at 6:30, I will talk to some of the parents about their hopes.
All right, thank you, Kiera. Now to stay updated on this story, of course, log on to our website, KVEW.com, or follow us on our social media sites at Facebook and Twitter by searching KAPP KVEW. Well, a new week and a new series of warnings about our air quality. It continues to remain at unhealthy levels. The National Weather Service advising people to limit their time outdoors due to all the smoke from the wildfires, which is creating unhealthy air. This morning, pollution levels were marked at unhealthy levels in Yakima and Toppenish, and the Benton Clean Air Agency is also listing the air in the Tri-Cities as unhealthy. Of course, many of you may have noticed some ash actually falling on your cars from the fires. Experts say there is nothing to worry about for now, as the amount of that ash is very minimal. And where is that smoke coming from? Well, mostly from the north central portion of the state. The massive Okanagan complex of wildfires is now the largest in Washington state history, measuring over 400 square miles. An overnight fight to protect homes from those fires came down to just a few feet today. Lee Stoll is in Okanagan County tonight with more on the weather concerns the crews are dealing with.
The flames are just a few feet from Corey Hainselman's home, but that is exactly what he and his family want to see.
Flames close enough to cause concern for any homeowner are getting a different reaction from Corey Hainselman.
Relieved, absolutely.
This is the moment his family has worked, worried, and waited more than a week to see.
Weather is cooperating now, slow back burn down the hill, because had this come through with those 40-mile-an-hour winds, there was no hope here.
Overnight, we watched as fire crews hiked by headlamp to dig a dozer line and set back burns along Spring Coulee Road. The entire Hainselman family has had their hands full, anxiously waiting to see if all 4 of their homes would still be standing as the advancing fire toppled ridge after ridge. His parents evacuated, leaving their home of nearly 40 years.
I didn't think that there was any hope.
But by a smoke-filled sunrise, the dozer line was intact. The concern today is winds will push out the thick and unhealthy haze. It's actually acted like a blanket, keeping the fire under control. Clear air could kick it back up. Still, Hainselman says it's now clear enough to bring his parents back.
They're going to be here. They're going to be here, and as soon as I say you can come, they're ready to jump in the car and come home.
That was Lee Stoll reporting. Now, fire officials are still trying to determine just how many homes and other structures have now burned as a result of the Okanagan complex fires. The worry remains, however, the fire could burn, listen to this, for several more months. And over 600 people are now fighting the Grizzly Bear complex fire burning about 20 miles southeast of Dayton. Crews are working long hours in hot weather and difficult terrain as they attempt to stop the spread of this fire. It's destroyed 5 homes, 28 outbuildings, and has burned more than 65,000 acres. The fire is currently burning on the Umatilla National Forest and private land protected by the Washington Department of Natural Resources and the Oregon Department of Forestry. And members of the Washington National Guard are now assisting crews from the State Department of Natural Resources in fighting the Cougar Creek fire near Mount Adams. Over the weekend, fire behavior actually increased on the north and northwest sections of this fire, which has now burned nearly 35,000 acres and is just 15% contained. This fire was started a couple of weeks ago by lightning. A community meeting is scheduled to be held tonight in the Glenwood School Gymnasium. That meeting begins in just under an hour at 6 o'clock. And we want to remind you of the GoFundMe page that we have set up in memory of Tom Bashevsky, one of the 3 firefighters killed in Twisp last week. He was going to be a junior at Whitman College this fall. We've raised nearly $1,000 thus far, and I want to let you know I received an email from his parents this weekend expressing their thanks and letting us know that they're planning on donating the contributions to the Harper Joy Theater at Whitman, which their son was involved in. And the principal at Findlay Elementary School in the Tri-Cities is gathering supplies to be sent to the firefighters and the victims of the Okanagan fire. Pam Kinney says she wanted to do something to help them out, so she texted as many friends as she could to see if they would provide supplies as well. Kinney says she's managed to find someone who will actually take the supplies out to the Okanagan. She says there are all kinds of supplies needed, everything from snack foods to quarters for the laundromat.
We got everything from water to diapers and wipes, feminine supplies. We even got pudding cups, and I picked up bags of balloons because they recommended toys for the kids, so I got some balloons.
If you would like to donate supplies for the Okanagan firefighters and victims, you can drop them off tonight after 6 o'clock at the Yokes on 27th Avenue in Kennewick. And from today through Friday, donations of very specific non-perishable items will also be accepted at 2 City of Yakima fire stations, Station 91 at 401 North Front Street and Station 93 at 40th Avenue and Englewood Avenue. Donations can be taken to the 2 stations at any time of the day, and if the firefighters are busy out on a call, donation bins will be outside. Now, some of the items being asked for are granola bars, bottled water, Gatorade, white socks, Visine, and chapstick. And we have a full list of the items requested on our website, KAPPTV.com. So let's change topics just for the moment and talk about the weather on this Monday night as we take a look outside via the Skycam. And there's another look at the unhealthy air quality as you see all the haze and smoke as we take a look north towards the dual water towers in Pasco. Let's check in with Chris Crocker now, who's got a first look at the forecast for us.
Good evening. Temperatures around the region are in the 80s and 90s, 89 right now in Ellensburg and the Tri-Cities, as well as Walla Walla. 85 in Yakima and Pendleton. It's 91 right now in Hermiston. We do still have some areas of smoke and haze and an air quality alert in effect for part of the region. Weak disturbance coming up from Oregon, bringing a slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms overnight tonight, mainly in the Tri-Cities. Overnight lows down in the 50s. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast and a big warm up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Chris. In other news tonight, Yakima police were investigating a fatal stabbing outside of a bar this weekend. Police say the victim, identified as 26-year-old Jose Romero, was stabbed during a fight Saturday night outside of the Coretta Mexican restaurant and lounge on South 3rd Avenue. Now, police were not informed of the stabbing until Romero was brought to the hospital at about 1:40 in the morning. He died shortly thereafter. Police say they're not sure what started the fight. No suspects have been named. And a former Yakima priest is ordered to pay $5 million in a sex abuse case. A federal judge issuing the order against Father Dale Calhoun, a plaintiff accusing Calhoun of sexually abusing him when he was a teenager. Calhoun currently lives in Texas. His judgment is the largest civil judgment entered against an individual priest in central and eastern Washington. And today, a judge issues a preliminary injunction forcing the Lucky Leaf marijuana shop in Pasco to close down altogether until a further case is heard. Now, last week, a temporary restraining order was placed on the business until the full hearing today. Now, the only recreational marijuana shop in the city is closed until further notice. Now, before the hearing at the Franklin County Courthouse, dozens of Lucky Leaf supporters turned out to show their support for the business, some of them sitting here. All of them saying that they wish the Pasco City Council would reconsider its ban on recreational marijuana businesses. Retail recreational marijuana advocate Jebediah Haney says the bans, like the one in Pasco, are actually hurting small business owners throughout Washington state.
We have individuals taking risks in order to help drive revenues into an already defaulted budget. And so while we have people taking these risks in an unstable business environment, we have local ordinances that are stifling their success and for no founded reason.
The Pasco City Attorney and the attorneys for Lucky Leaf will be back in court next week to present findings to the judge. The group of Lucky Leaf supporters do plan on attending the Pasco City Council meeting. That's tonight at 7 o'clock. Well, let's move on now to our question of the day on this Monday evening. Here we go. There's about 500,000 tweets about this every day. So what is it? You know what? I'm simply going to say it's just like you would ask somebody on the telephone if you don't know where they are. What's the weather like? People are tweeting about the weather. If you have a guess, we'd love to hear it. Leave your answer on our Facebook or Twitter pages any day. All you have to do is log on and search KAPP KVEW. And still ahead tonight on your local ABC at 5, stock shock on Wall Street. Stocks taking a major hit today. A crash in China setting off a worldwide ripple effect. Coming up, what it all means for your retirement plan. And it is almost fair time. It's Fair Eve. We'll take you behind the scenes and as everything gets set today for tomorrow's opening day. Well, you probably woke up this morning to the news that the Dow dropped 1,000 points just seconds after the opening bell. And that set the tone for a wild day on Wall Street. Over the last week, listen to this. The average American 401k has lost $6,000. Now, I know that sounds bad, but experts tell us over the last 5 years, those same retirement accounts are actually up about 61%. Feel better now? All right, well, even if you don't, the experts say remain calm.
Look at the Great Recession, 2009. Those who bailed on the market in 2009 lost half of their money. Those who stayed, as tough as it was to do, made all that money back in 3 years.
The White House is blaming the market volatility mostly on China's economic slowdown and downplaying any talk of a U.S. recession. Well, here at home, the Kennewick Firefighters Union is offering a $500 reward to help find the person who vandalized the local 9/11 memorial. That memorial, which is at the Southridge Sports Complex, was vandalized last week. The Fraternal Order of Police also offering a $500 reward for anyone with information, and the Firefighters Union doing the same. The beams had the name Kaylee Rodriguez Bramis scratched into them and a cross or plus sign as well. Of course, those beams are beams from the actual World Trade Center If anyone has any information about what may have happened there, please contact Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-8477 or 586-8477. And the Washington State Parks and Recreation Commission announcing a free day in state parks tomorrow. The free day is in honor of the 99th birthday of the National Park Service, which was established way back on August the 25th, 1916. Now, because of the free day use visitors at Washington State Parks won't need a Discover Pass in order to visit tomorrow. Well, let's take another look outside along Columbia Center Boulevard in Kennewick on this early Monday evening. You can just see that layer of smoke and haze sitting on top of us. When we come back, Chris Crocker will let us know what the work week looks like weather-wise. The full forecast in just a moment. The Tri-City's second largest annual event of the year begins tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Fair Week, and your local ABC's Patricia Martellotti visiting the fairgrounds today, talking with the participants and their animals to see how it's all going. Patricia.
Kevin, it's hard to tell which is more exciting, the livestock show or the preparations that actually go into the show. At times it seemed like a rat race with some of the exhibitors literally chasing down their livestock in preparation for the big day.
Although the schedule says the show hasn't begun, behind the scenes there are kids chasing pigs and adults cradling calves. As preparations get underway, it's clear the Benton Franklin Fair and Rodeo Livestock Show has both humans and animals feeling anxious.
Sometimes pigs are like calm, and then when you get to fair they're like, whoa, okay. And then sometimes they're like crazy, and then you get to fair and they're super calm. It's really, you don't know what's going to happen when you get to fair sometimes.
These porkers weren't in the mood to get out of their trailer, so the owners pushed them out. Participants say they spent all summer preparing their livestock for the big show, and with only one day left, kids were busy grooming their animals, getting them washed and trimmed. Besides looking good, each participating animal has to meet certain qualifications. A pig, for instance, cannot weigh more than 295 pounds. These pig owners tell me they had to work very hard to make sure their pig, Big Daddy, didn't get too fat or it would have been disqualified from the show.
Yeah, we had to put them on a diet, and if we put them in the pig trailer, sometimes they'll get kind of stressed out a little bit and they'll lose some weight.
Pig owner Nathan Hales says Big Daddy almost didn't qualify, weighing in at exactly 295 pounds. But Hales and Big Daddy both worked hard to stay in the running.
We walked them for about 30 minutes. Sometimes we walk them to up a mile.
You must have a really fat pig.
Yeah, he's pretty fat, but I think he's a little more muscular than fat right now.
A pig pen of participants ready to hit the ground running.
The 4-H, FFA, and open class events start tomorrow at 6 a.m. and goes on all day. Kevin?
All right, thank you, Patricia. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. I think the pig unit is going to complain about that weight limit. For a fair schedule for everything going on at the fairgrounds, log on to our website, KVEW.com, and click on our news link section. And stay tuned. We'll be back with the answer to the question of the day in just a moment. All right, everyone, time now to take a look at the answer to the question of the day. First, though, another look at the question itself. There are about 500,000 tweets about this every day. What is it? The answer is, hey, I got one right to start the work week. The answer is the weather. I'm sure that was followed closely by whatever food you're eating at whatever restaurant. All right, that's it for right now. World News Tonight with David Mears next. George Stephanopoulos in tonight. And we'll see you back here for your only source for local news at 6:30. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your families.